Welcome back to the Print 3D channel and another episode of the product review. On this episode of the review, we're going to check out All Professional 3D's Filament, so stick around. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me here on the product review here on the Print 3D channel. As a disclaimer, I must say this first. I did not pay for this filament. It was sent to me for free. I have no affiliation with the company. Therefore, this is my humble and unbiased review of All Professional 3D Filament. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get started on the filament review. Andreas Vetter, the CEO and founder of All Professional 3D, reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to test out some of the filament on my channel. And I said, of course I would. And if you watched my product unboxing video, you saw that the filament came in a shrink-wrapped bag with the silica bag inside to keep the moisture away. As you can see here on the website, they have quite a variety of colors and different kinds of filament, and they are a filament-only manufacturer. They don't manufacture printers, so their focus is completely on filament. So that's really cool. As far as packaging goes, I have to refer back to my unboxing video. Since I've already opened the package, there you can see exactly how the filament was shipped. As far as the filament diameter goes, I've done my measuring, and on 3 feet of filament with 5 measurements, it all equaled out to an average of 1.75. And that's very consistent for filament. And I really like that, and my printer will like that a lot. As far as the color goes, they sent me a sample of their Russell Blue. Now this seems to be a very semi-translucent blue. And when I was printing it, I did notice some color variations at the temperatures of 205 degrees, which is the suggested temperature that comes on the package. Now let's talk about the filament itself. It's very flexible, and it doesn't break even when I bend it a full 90 to 180 degrees around. And when I cut it with the side cutters, it has a very smooth cut. It's not a snap cut like some filaments can be. And the filament comes on a standard spool size, and again, there are retainer holes on both sides so you can hook up your filament when you're not using it and storing it away. And that's really handy. When it comes to printing the All Pro 3D filament, this stuff flows like butter. As you can see, it comes out very consistently. I didn't have any extrusion issues. And speaking of printing, let's check out some of the models that I ran out for the testing. Of course, we started with the Benchy, because that's always what I print first. And this turned out awesome. It really did a great job, and the color is very consistent. Next up, we printed the Tree Frog. And this guy turned out great. His belly overhang is nice and smooth, and so is his back. And the color is very consistent on here. As you can see, there is some fluctuation in the color, but that's because I haven't nailed down a perfect temperature. Even though All Professional 3D suggests 205 degrees, I noticed if I cranked it up to 210, the color would be more consistent. But I ran out all these models at the suggested temperature of 205 degrees. The next thing we printed was the Bobon model from ChaosCoreTech. This has become a staple in all my filament testing because I really like it, and it's got some great overhangs that really put the printer through its paces. And of course, it turned out awesome as expected. After that, we printed the Lion model, and this guy turned out awesome. Now I have printed this with other filaments, and it does turn out pretty great at its original size, but I shrunk it down a little bit just for the filament testing. And as you can see, it turned out amazing. And the last thing we printed was Brad the Dad from MakerBot. This is a cute little figure from their toy selection, and I like using this because it's a really great model for testing. And as you can see here in the photos, these prints turned out amazing. There's no extrusion issues, there's no skipping, there is a little bit of blobbing going on for my retraction issues, but I'm still working to improve my settings. But all in all, these prints turned out stellar. Now let's talk about the strength of the finished printed pieces. While this isn't a Pro PLA or a high heat PLA or even ABS, it is really strong. And as you can see, I couldn't break the Benchy. So all the layers are perfectly laminated together, there's no separation, and it's got a really great bond. So I really like this filament for universal use. As far as applications go, I believe this is a good filament to use for printer parts, RC parts, drone parts, just about anything. It's very strong, and I believe it can hold up to some of the Pro PLAs, the high heats, and even ABS. Now let's talk about availability and price. It appears from the website that they have every single color available in both PLA, ABS, and specialty filaments. Now the price point is $49.99, but they're running a sale right now, so the rolls of filament for the basic PLA is $29.99. And in the description below, Andreas was kind enough to give us a 10% off code that you can use at checkout on all your purchases at All Professional 3D. So thank you, Andreas. So for my final thoughts on the All Professional 3D filament, I believe this filament is some of the best filament out there. I think it stacks up to ColorFab, Form Futura, and I even think it stacks up next to Matter Hackers. So I highly recommend All Professional 3D Filament for all uses, including printer parts, RC parts, parts you're replacing on things that you're fixing. I believe this filament is strong enough, durable enough, and the quality is good enough to stand up next to some of the best filaments on the market. So thank you again for joining me here on the product review as we take a look at all professional 3D filament. I hope you found this review informative and it'll help you make a more educated decision when it comes to buying your filament. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, comment and like on those videos, and join me again on the very next episode of the product review. Thank you, Andreas. I really love the filament. I really appreciate you sending this out.